The cruel gift. Marcus Chen adjusted his maintenance uniform as he entered the Grand Diplomatic Hall of Station Theta 7. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbow patterns across walls made from compressed stardust, while delegates from dozens of worlds mingled in their finest attire. As a human engineer, Marcus rarely ventured into these elite spaces. Tonight, staff shortages had forced him to help serve drinks at the Galactic Alliance's annual summit. The station hummed with conversations in countless languages. Marcus's translator implant caught fragments as he weaved through the crowd, carrying a tray of phosphorescent cocktails. 11-foot-tall draconians discussed trade routes. Crystalline Verdians chimed about mining rights. Humans clustered in small groups, still newcomers to galactic politics after only 50 years of space travel. Marcus had almost reached the service station when disaster struck. A hovering protocol drone malfunctioned, spinning wildly before clipping his elbow. The tray tilted. Purple liquid splashed across polished boots. Those boots belonged to Baron Corthex of the Valerian Empire. The Baron towered 8 feet tall, his obsidian skin rippling with bioluminescent patterns that indicated mood. Right now, those patterns flashed angry red. 6 eyes arranged in pairs focused on Marcus with laser intensity. The Baron's 4 arms crossed in a gesture Marcus knew meant extreme displeasure among Valerians. A human. Baron Corthex's voice resonated like struck metal. His translator made every word drip with disdain. How appropriate. Your species can't even serve drinks without creating chaos. Marcus dropped to one knee, grabbing napkins to clean the spill. My deepest apologies. Baron, the drone malfunctioned. Excuses, the Baron interrupted. Other nobles gathered, sensing entertainment. Humans always have excuses. You claim technological equality, yet you fumble at the simplest tasks. Marcus bit back his response. Everyone on the station knew Baron Corthex's reputation. The Valerian, noble-owned mining operations across 3 systems, all staffed by species he considered inferior. His treatment of workers was legendary for its cruelty. Arguing would only make things worse. I wonder, the Baron continued, his patterns shifting to calculating yellow. If humans can truly match other species in anything meaningful, you boast about your adaptability, your problem-solving abilities. Empty words, I think. The crowd murmured agreement. Marcus caught sympathetic glances from other humans, but no one dared interrupt a Baron's pronouncement. Baron Corthex's middle eyes narrowed. Perhaps we should test these claims. Guards. 2 Valerian soldiers appeared, pushing a medical transport capsule. The crystalline pod floated on anti-grav fields, its occupant visible through transparent panels. Marcus's breath caught. Inside lay a young Valerian female, completely motionless except for her eyes. Her obsidian skin held a different quality than the Baron's, more delicate with silver bioluminescent patterns that pulsed weakly. She appeared to be a young adult by human standards, though alien aging was always difficult to judge. My daughter Zara, Baron Corthex announced, paralyzed since birth, a genetic defect that makes her nervous system incompatible with her own body. Our finest physicians declared her condition irreversible. The girl's eyes moved, tracking the conversation. Marcus saw intelligence there and something else, resignation mixed with desperate hope. Since humans claim such miraculous medical abilities, the Baron's tone grew mocking. I offer you a gift, engineer. Take my broken daughter. Fix her, if you can. Laughter rippled through the alien crowd. Marcus heard bets being placed on how quickly he would fail. Someone joked about primitive human medicine. Another commented on the girl's worthlessness to Valerian society. Marcus looked at Zara again. Her eyes met his, and in that moment, he saw past the alien features to the person trapped inside an unresponsive body. He saw years of being treated as an object, a shame to her family, a burden to be hidden away. He stood, squaring his shoulders. I accept your gift, Baron. The laughter stopped. What did you say? Baron Corthex's patterns flashed confusion. I accept. I'll do everything in my power to help your daughter. The Baron recovered quickly, his patterns returning to mocking green. Excellent. More entertainment for us all. Take your patient, human. Show us these miraculous abilities you claim. The guards pushed the transport capsule toward Marcus. He grasped the controls. He felt the weight of responsibility. Zara's eyes focused on him with an intensity that sent shivers down his spine. "I'm Marcus," he said softly, ignoring the continuing mockery around them. "I promise I'll do my best." As he guided the capsule from the hall, cruel laughter followed them into the corridor. But Marcus noticed something the mocking crowd missed. For the first time, Zara's silver patterns pulsed a little brighter. Marcus's workshop occupied a forgotten corner of the station's industrial sector. Squeezed between a recycling center and an automated food processing plant, the space served as both laboratory and home. He'd spent years collecting discarded equipment, rebuilding obsolete machines, and creating hybrid devices that combined human ingenuity with alien technology. The door hissed open, revealing organized chaos. Workbenches lined the walls, covered with half-completed projects. Diagnostic screens hung from articulated arms. The air carried the ozone scent of active electronics mixed with machine oil. "Welcome to my workshop," Marcus said, guiding the transport capsule to the room's center. "It's not much, but it's private." He positioned the capsule on a reinforced examination platform and began the delicate process of transferring Zara to a more comfortable medical bed. Her body remained completely limp, requiring careful support. Throughout the transfer, her eyes followed his movements with alert intelligence. "Can you understand me?" Marcus asked, settling into a chair beside her. "Blink once for yes, twice for no. One deliberate blink. Good, that's our starting point. Are you in any pain? 2 blinks." Marcus activated his diagnostic array, a combination of human medical scanners and alien devices he'd modified over the years. Holographic displays materialized around Zara, showing her internal structure in brilliant detail. Marcus studied the data, his frown deepening. "Your nervous system is fascinating," he murmured. "Completely different from human physiology. You use bioelectric fields instead of chemical neurotransmitters. The signals are all there, just disconnected." He worked through the night, mapping every aspect of Zara's condition. Her brain generated commands perfectly. Her muscles could theoretically respond, but the pathway between them was scrambled, like a radio receiving static instead of clear signals. By morning, Marcus had covered his walls with diagrams and calculations. He'd barely noticed the bowl of noodles his neighbor had left outside the door, too absorbed in the puzzle before him. "I think I understand the problem," he said, turning to Zara. "Your species evolved with perfect bioelectric harmony. Each Valerian's nervous system operates on a unique frequency. Yours is different. Not wrong, just incompatible with standard Valerian biology." Zara's eyes widened with interest. "Your physicians tried to force your system to match normal Valerian patterns. That's like trying to tune every radio to the same station. But what if we don't change your frequency? What if we build a translator instead?" Over the next weeks, Marcus constructed a communication system. He attached sensors to track Zara's eye movements and connected them to a holographic display. Slowly, painstakingly, they developed a method for her to select letters and form words. The first complete message appeared after 3 weeks of practice. "Hello, Marcus." Marcus grinned, feeling a surge of triumph. "Hello, Zara. It's nice to finally hear from you." What followed was a flood of communication. Zara had been listening and learning her entire life, absorbing languages, mathematics, and science from the conversations around her. She understood quantum mechanics, spoke 14 languages, and had developed complex philosophical theories during her years of silence. "Nobody ever asked what I thought," she typed one evening. "They discussed me like furniture, broken furniture to be stored away." "Their loss," Marcus replied. "You have one of the most brilliant minds I've encountered." As they talked, Marcus learned about Valerian society's obsession with physical perfection. Zara's condition made her worthless in her father's eyes, a stain on his genetic legacy. She'd spent years in medical facilities, subjected to painful treatments that never worked. He gave me away as a joke, Zara typed. He expects you to fail. Then we'll prove him wrong, Marcus said firmly. Together, Zara's silver patterns pulsed, brighter, and for the first time since arriving, she managed something that looked almost like a smile. Tell me about human neural interface technology, she typed. I have some ideas. As they began discussing the possibilities, neither noticed the tiny surveillance drone hovering outside the workshop window, transmitting everything back to Baron Cortex's chambers. Rising beyond 6 months into their work, Marcus stared at the prototype neural interface with frustration. The device, no larger than a coin, represented their 20th design iteration. Each version had failed to properly translate between Zara's unique bioelectric patterns and mechanical systems. The quantum resonance keeps destabilizing, Marcus muttered, tossing aside burnt circuitry. Every time we get close, the whole system cascades into feedback loops. Zara's eyes moved across her communication screen. Show me the wave function collapse data again. Marcus pulled up the holographic displays. Together they analyzed the failure points, searching for patterns in the chaos. Zara's mind worked differently than any engineer Marcus had known, seeing connections he missed. There, she typed suddenly. The harmonic intervals. They're fighting each other. Marcus leaned closer. She was right. The human electronics operated on binary logic while Valerian biofields flowed in continuous waves. They needed something to bridge that gap. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Marcus was eating lunch, absent-mindedly dripping synthetic sauce on a discarded Valerian biocrystal. Instead of corroding, the crystal began resonating with new patterns. Organic compounds, Marcus breathed. They can translate between our technologies. They worked frantically to develop a biosynthetic gel using proteins that conducted both electricity and bioelectric fields. The gel surrounded connection points, allowing human circuits and Valerian crystals to communicate without interference. 3 weeks later, they were ready for the first real test. Marcus had built a simple mechanical hand, connected to Zara through their hybrid interface. Sensors placed on her temples would detect her mental commands and translate them into mechanical movement. Focus on the intention to move, Marcus instructed. Don't think about the mechanism, just the desire. Zara's silver patterns flickered with concentration. The mechanical hand remained still. Then, slowly, one finger twitched. Then another. Within minutes, the entire hand was responding to her thoughts. Tears streamed down both their faces as the mechanical fingers formed a perfect fist, then opened again. I did that, Zara typed, her eyes bright with wonder. I made it move. You did? Marcus confirmed. Ready for something bigger? The full exoskeleton took 6 more months to complete. Marcus designed it to be both functional and beautiful, knowing how much appearance mattered to Zara after years of being seen as broken. The frame used ultra-light alloys that followed the natural lines of her body. Biocrystals at each joint, pulsed with soft silver light, matching her natural patterns. The day of the first full test, half the station's human population gathered outside Marcus's workshop. Word had spread through the maintenance crews, the dock workers, the human families scratching out lives in the station's lower levels. They'd contributed materials, expertise, and encouragement throughout the project. Marcus carefully fitted the exoskeleton around Zara's motionless form. Each connection required precise alignment with her unique bioelectric pathways. The process took 2 hours, but finally, every system showed green status. How does it feel? Marcus asked, stepping back. Zara's response came through the suit's integrated speaker system, her natural voice reproduced for the first time. Like wearing starlight. The crowd held its breath as Zara focused. The exoskeleton's legs slowly straightened. Servos whispered. Biocrystals flared brighter. With graceful precision, Zara rose from the medical bed. She stood. For the first time in her life, Zara stood on her own feet. The crowd erupted in cheers, but Marcus only had eyes for his friend. Her face showed an expression of pure joy that transcended species barriers. Walk to me, Marcus said, holding out his hands. Zara took one uncertain step. The exoskeleton's AI systems analyzed her movement, adjusting balance and support in real time. Another step followed, smoother than the first. By the third step, she was walking naturally. Within a week, Zara had mastered basic movement. Within a month, she was running. The exoskeleton didn't just restore normal function, it enhanced it. Her reflexes operated at light speed, her strength precisely controlled, her balance perfect. "Your turn," Zara said one day, handing Marcus a practice sword. They'd begun combat training at her request. Not for violence, but for the pure joy of movement after a lifetime of stillness. Marcus had introduced her to human martial arts, and she'd absorbed the techniques with frightening speed. "You're getting too good at this," Marcus laughed, parrying her strikes. "I created a monster. You created possibility," Zara corrected, executing a perfect spinning kick that sent his practice sword flying. "There's a difference." News of Zara's transformation spread beyond the station. Videos circulated through the galactic networks, showing her training sessions, her artwork. She'd taken up painting with passionate intensity. Her debates with station philosophers. She became a symbol of potential unlocked, of barriers overcome. Not everyone celebrated. In his luxury suite, Baron Cortex watched the feeds with growing anger. His joke had backfired spectacularly. The daughter he'd discarded as worthless now commanded more respect than he did. The confrontation came during another diplomatic summit. Baron Cortex arrived at the station with a full military escort, demanding the return of his property. He found Zara in the station's central plaza, teaching movement therapy to other disabled beings, humans and aliens alike who'd come seeking hope. "Daughter," the Baron's voice boomed across the plaza, "cease this display. You will return with me immediately." Zara turned to face him, standing tall in her exoskeleton. Her silver patterns now pulsed with confident strength. "I am not property, father. I never was." The Baron's patterns flashed angry red. "You are Valerian nobility. This, mingling with inferior species, is beneath you. That human has filled your mind with delusions. That human," Zara said clearly, "saw worth where you saw only shame. He gave me freedom while you gave me away as a cruel joke." The gathered crowd stirred. Many had heard about the Baron's original gift, but hearing Zara confirm it sparked outrage. Baron Cortex realized too late that public opinion had shifted. His treatment of his daughter, once hidden, now stood exposed before hundreds of witnesses. "The law supports my claim," the Baron insisted. "Valerian tradition, I renounce it," Zara interrupted. "By the same law that let you abandon me, I now abandon you. I choose my own path." She turned to Marcus, who stood at the edge of the crowd. "I choose family based on love, not genetics. I choose belonging earned through respect, not demanded by tradition." The Baron's guards shifted uncomfortably. Several other Valerian nobles present exchanged uncertain glances. Zara's words challenged fundamental aspects of their society, but her transformation was undeniable. She stood as living proof that their definitions of worth might be flawed. "You'll regret this," Baron Cortex snarled, but his threat lacked conviction. He'd lost more than a daughter. He'd lost face before the entire Galactic Alliance. As the Baron retreated with his escort, the plaza erupted in celebration. Beings from dozens of worlds surrounded Zara and Marcus, offering congratulations and support. Among them were other disabled individuals, scientists eager to study the hybrid technology, and families seeking help for their own challenged children. "We're going to be busy," Marcus observed, watching the crowd. Zara smiled, her exoskeleton shifting with fluid grace. "Good. We have work to do. There are so many others waiting for their chance to rise." 6 months later, the Marcus Zara Institute for Adaptive Technology opened its doors on Station Theta 7. Funded by donations from across the galaxy, it offered free treatment to any being facing physical challenges. The waiting list stretched for years. Zara stood at the observation window, watching new patients arrive. Many came from worlds where disability meant abandonment, or worse. Her father's cruel gift had become a gift to thousands of others. "No regrets?" Marcus asked, joining her at the window. "None," Zara replied. He thought he was discarding something broken. Instead, he set free something that was always whole, just different. Her silver patterns pulsed with warm light as she watched a young draconian with malformed wings receive his first flight assistance harness. In the workshop below, human and alien engineers worked side by side, breaking down the barriers between technologies and cultures. "Thank you," Zara said quietly, "for seeing me, not my limitations." Marcus smiled. "Thank you for teaching me that. The greatest transformations come from within." The exoskeleton just helped express what was always there. As they watched their students and patients working together, creating new possibilities from mockery and prejudice, both understood a fundamental truth. Sometimes the cruelest jokes become the most beautiful triumphs, and sometimes the most unlikely gifts change not just one life, but the entire galaxy's understanding of what it means to be whole. Baron Cortex never returned to Station Theta 7, but his unintended gift lived on, multiplied 1,000-fold in every being who found freedom through the institute he'd inadvertently inspired. His legacy became not the cruelty he'd intended, but the compassion his daughter chose instead.